Happy New Year everyone, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short video presentation all about an app I'm very excited about at the moment called Bossjock Jr. My name is Joe Dale. I was a French teacher for 13 years, teaching in the UK in secondary level and middle school level, 9 to 13 year olds, and since 2009 I've been an independent languages consultant going around the world running training on the use of technology and how it can enhance language learning as well as across the curriculum. So when the LTSIG invited me to take part in their latest newsletter, I thought it would be a great idea to make a video recording mirroring my iPad using Air Server and using Camtasia to record the screen so I could then talk over the top and everything would be captured. Now I've been involved in IATEFL since 2013. I was asked to do a presentation as part of the pre-conference event in Liverpool, and I've spoken at the conference a few times since then. And I'm very much looking forward to coming back in Birmingham in 2016 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of IATEFL. So with this app, it's not just a basic audio recorder. There are lots of apps out there that do that. There's many other things that you can do. For example, make your own radio show. But for language learning, I think what this is great for is for things like recording dialogues, recording presentations. You could go out onto the street with it and record authentic surveys if you wanted to, so field recordings. You then come back, lay those recordings together with other recordings that you've made as well. You could use it for question and answer purposes, so the teacher could create questions for students, could then share them via an app like Google Drive. They could then import them from Google Drive into Bossjock Jr, into these different carts you can see in front of you. And then the students could then listen to the questions and then record their answers after each question in turn. You could also use it for storytelling. So you could write a story, again using say Google Docs. You could then record your audio reading that story and add sound effects at appropriate points in that story, or you could do the same thing with a poem, etc. If you wanted to, you could create a grammar quiz using this app. So you could record an introduction, you could record a presentation of the particular grammar point, and then you could record a quiz at the end, leaving appropriate pauses for thinking time so that the listener can listen to the question and then say the answer out loud or in their head, and then you'll then tell them what the correct answer is, that sort of thing. Or, as I said already, you could pull all the different audio tracks all together into a radio show. Now you can see that on this iPad version, this is iOS only by the way, there isn't a version at the moment available for Android or Windows or the desktop. There are other ways of creating radio shows, but this is, for if you have an iPad, I think this is just the best thing out there at the moment. It's wonderful. So you've got 20 carts in the iPad version, you have 6 in the iPhone or the iPod Touch version, and in each of these carts you can record your own audio if you want to live, or you can import tracks from other places like Google Drive or other apps such as Voice Record Pro 7, Voice Changer Plus, Ferrite Recording Studio, Opinion or Spreaker Studio. These are some of my favourite audio apps at the moment. So once you've added a few carts together with the audio imported into the carts, you can then tap on them and they'll play. You can record while you're doing that, and you could sequence all the tracks together, or you can actually layer tracks one on top of each other. So if you have a music track, for example, all these are music tracks in front of you right now, you could be recording live by pushing your finger on the microphone and recording your vocal over the top of the music track. Now just to give you a very quick example, if I tap on the little X on the bottom right hand corner of my pads, the one that says Shorts 125A Friday night, so if I tap on that right now and I tap remove, then you can see that the cart is now empty. So the first time you launch this app, you'll see that all your carts are empty in the same way. I've just preloaded a lot of these carts to show you how that would then work. Now if I tap on the empty option, I get this message saying record audio, music or store. If I want to record live, I tap record, which we'll do in a second. I'll hold my finger down on the microphone and record my voice. If I tap on audio, it will take me to the same area that you would go to if you tap on audio top left of the screen there, and that is where you've imported all the different audio tracks that you've created maybe in other apps, or you've created within Bossjock Jr previously, and then you can import all of those into, or one at a time should I say, into an individual cart. You can also tap on music. That gives you access to your iTunes account. Obviously, you need to respect copyright if you're going to publish any copyrighted music. But you can do that. It is what I mean is it's possible, but maybe it's not legally a good idea. You can then tap on Store, and that gives you access to some rights-free tracks, which you can either get for free. There are some that are free there, or some of them you have to pay for. Now, if you tap on Record, you can see it's paused at the moment. So if I press the microphone, I can make a start on a recording like this. Okay, so I'm recording now, and you can see the level meter is going up and down. I take my finger off like that. It's paused, but if I slide to finish from left to right at the top right there, it will then stop the recording. Okay, so as you can see now in that cart, it now says cart record 1, so that's my recording, and if I press on it, we can listen back to the recording. Okay, so I'm recording now, and you can see the level meter is going up and down. I'll take my finger off. Perfect. Okay, so that's worked really nicely. So you could do the same thing with all the other carts. You could record in the classroom or outside, as I said already, with field recordings, and then pull everything together. Now on the right hand side there, you've got this little slider here, which goes up and down. I found through experience that if you put it here, which you'd expect, I suppose, by default, that normally when you're playing the music is too loud for your voice, and you can't really hear the voice as much as you would like to. And obviously in a language learning context, what you want to concentrate on is the voice. So in my experience, it's best to put the slider around there. So this controls the volume level of the cart which is playing. Now if we go to the Store, top left, like this, you can see you have access to a number of different carts. Okay. Now the free carts, if you tap on here, you can see that all of these you can download for free, and then you can import them into individual carts. Now when I started talking about this on Twitter in July 2015, when Bossjock Jr first came out, one of the musicians who's created some tracks in this particular free cart section got in contact with me. His name is Andre Louis, or his Twitter username is Freaky Foo. And he actually sent me a link to a Dropbox folder which he's created, which has many more rights-free tracks. And I'm going to show you how you can import this now into, as an example, into Bossjock Jr. So if I press Done, and I come out of Bossjock and I go to my Dropbox account, like this, I've actually got the folder here set up already. And in the folder that Andre has shared with me, you can see that there's this TXT file which has some information about how the tracks could be used. Now they're rights free, but you do need to put in the attribution to say where it came from. So if I, for example, put my finger here and I copy this link, and then I go to Safari like this, and I paste in the link and press go. You will need to have a Dropbox account to access this, or to save it to your Dropbox, should I say. And you'll see, there you go. So this will then happen. So you'll then get access to all these different tracks if you just had the link. So all you'd have to do, therefore, if you wanted to import one of these tracks into Bossjock Jr. So for example, if I wanted to import the one that says Three's a Crowd, I would just tap on that, and then I could listen back to it. If I press play now, I can listen back to it. There we are. So hopefully you can hear that now. And if I pause that, and then you can see that you've got the export option top right, the one with the rectangle with the arrow pointing upwards. You can tap on that. It says open in. It's going to export now, and then we're going to choose Bossjock Jr as one of the as the app where we export it to. So if I go along here, there it is, Bossjock Jr. If I tap on that now, what will happen is it will go into the audio section. So if I tap on the audio section top left, you can see now that Three's a Crowd is the top track there. So if I want to now import that into one of the carts, I'm just going to delete the recording I've made already. I could obviously delete all the other tracks, I've done that, but it takes a while to import all the tracks. You have to give a little bit of time to set this up, I suppose. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to delete the track which I recorded a moment ago. Tap remove, tap on empty, and this time I'm going to tap audio, and I'm going to tap Three's a Crowd. So as you can see now, if I press play, you can hear the audio over the top. So using that method, you can import any of the tracks that you like from that Dropbox folder. So you just need to make a note of the URL. Let's just go back a second and remind ourselves of what that is. So we go here, and here. You can see it's here. So it's onj.me/freakyfoo tracks, and that will allow you to import any of the tracks from the Dropbox folder into Bossjock Jr. And there we are. Okay, so we go back to Bossjock Jr. like this. I'm just going to show you how you can pull together different music tracks with your audio. Now, if I press the sign on the dotted line, which is one of Andre's tracks, you can see what I'm going to do. Here we go. So that's playing the track. Now if I hold the microphone down, I can speak over the top, and you'll see what's happening is the audio is automatically ducking. The music track is ducking, so you can hear my voice more clearly. I take my finger off, and then the music starts to play again. So by doing that, you can create a radio show type of sound, very professional sound, by the fact that the music ducks automatically under the vocal when you have your finger down on the microphone. So if I want to record what I've just done, I tap record, I press the track, and away we go. You're listening to Classic FM. I hope everyone's having a good day. Do you like the way how the music is ducking? It's really cool, isn't it? Now I've done a little sound effect segue from one track to the next. And now I've tapped another track by Andre Louis called Everything Alright, and again I can talk over the top like this. Okay, so I've held down the microphone and I'm talking over the top, and you'll see that the music is ducked, but if I take my finger off, then the music will play loud again. Like that. Okay, and then to finish the recording, we just slide across, slide to finish. Okay, now when you slide to finish, what happens is this will come up, this window, and you can see that the recording is there. We can listen back to it if we want to by pressing play, or we can tap on the artwork option here, and you can see that you can add a picture as a thumbnail over the top of your recording. So for example, if I tapped on Photo Library, I could access a picture. This is lots of pictures of my son here, but if I wanted to add a picture, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at different things. Let's have a look. Here we are. So if I tap on that one, for example, that's the picture I normally use as my logo, as it were. That can be my background picture. So if I now tap on the export option, as you can see, the one with the rectangle with the arrow pointing upwards. Now there are different options here. I can save my video clip to my camera roll if I want to, which I'll do right now. If I do that, I can just deselect these two options here about animations and then the Made with Bossjock Jr. Logo. I don't have to have that. I can just tap continue, and what's happening now, that's now saving that to my camera roll, which we can check in a second. I can also change the name very easily. You can see by default it's called recording 1, but if I tap on that and then tap on the little X there on the right hand side, I can rename my recording to something like LTSIG Bossjock Jr. example, and then tap done on the keyboard. So I've renamed it. That's fantastic. Now another option, if I wanted to publish this online, there are various ways of doing that. I could tap on here, for example, and I could tap the open in function like this, and you choose Google Drive, for example. So you choose Google Drive, it opens up Google Drive, you tap save, it puts it up into Google Drive. You can then tap locate, and then if you wanted to, you could tap on the three dots on the right hand side, tap add people, and then you can share that with your students if you want to do it from there, or they could obviously share it with you if they had your Gmail address. Now another option, if we go back to here and here, instead of choosing Google Drive, you could choose another app such as Voice Record Pro 7. Now if you tap open in, and then you go along and you find Voice Record Pro 7, which is this one, you can import the audio track from Bossjock Jr into Voice Record Pro 7 like that. Tap OK, and you can see that it's there. If I now tap on that example, I can go down to where it says convert to MP3. Now if I tap convert to MP3 and convert, I'm turning it into an audio only file. So in other words, you don't have the background image, etc. You just have the audio file. So it's no longer an MP4 file, it's now an MP3 file. Now having done that, and we tap back at the top there, you can see you've now got the MP3 version. If we tap on that now, we can then upload that to, say, Google Drive and press save. Now if we put it into Google Drive, you tap yes, it uploads. Okay, and there it is. So if I now go to Drive by double tapping on the home button, and then if I just refresh the page like this, okay, then it means if I go to my Voice Record Pro folder in Drive, you can see my MP3 file is now there, the second track from the top. So if I now tap on that, it will play the audio file within Google Drive. Now the reason it plays it in Google Drive is because it's an MP3 file, whereas if I tried it with the M4A or the MP4 file, it wouldn't play. It only seems to play MP3 at the moment. But it's fantastic that Google Drive allows you to listen to the audio files natively if they're MP3 like this. There we are. Now I just wanted to go back again to Bossjock Jr like this and show you some other options. If I wanted to choose open in, and this time you choose the this one, the Spreaker Studio option. If you tap on this one now, what will happen is it will import the Bossjock Jr track into Spreaker Studio. Now if I tap on the icon on the left hand side just below the record button, the one that looks a little bit like a waveform, tap on that, you can see I've now got an imported draft into my into like the place where I can keep on my recordings. Now if I tap on here on the export option again, I can retitle the track. So I just get rid of imported draft and put in LTSIG Bossjock Jr example. I can make it private or public. If I make it public, then you can download it, etc., and anyone can listen to it, but you can make it private as well. I'm just going to keep it as public right now. So I'm going to tap on the keyboard option bottom right, and I'm going to tap upload. Okay, you can see the message comes up, publishing an episode could take a few moments. Do you want to be notified? I'm going to tap no thanks. I can see it's encoding, it should be there now. So if I want to listen to that recording, I can tap on the export option again. I can tap copy, and then if I go to Safari and drop in that link like this, you can see, hopefully, there we are. You can see that my track is now there, now live on the internet. So this is like a podcast which I've created. Use the Spreaker.com. Now with Spreaker, you can have up to 10 hours of audio for the free account, which I think is plenty. And you can always delete some of the audio tracks or download them and then keep them somewhere else, and remove your audio tracks from Spreaker, and then you can then carry on adding to that, but you can't have more than 10 hours worth of content. I could have done things like uploading an image as well, which I haven't done. But if I press play now on the left hand side, you can hear the recording. Okay, as you can see there, it's playing now. You hear my voice over the top. So that would be one way of making an audio recording. Another way of podcasting your recording would be to go to an app like Opinion, this one. This works in a slightly different way. We launched the app called Opinion, which again, for free, you can record up to 10 minutes, which is great, I think, per recording, not for the whole thing, per recording. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap on the option at the top there in the middle, the icon with the musical note on it. Tap on that, tap Other Apps, tap Locations, and choose Google Drive. Now in Google Drive, I'm going to tap on my name like that. I'm going to find the folder which is called Voice Record, which is here somewhere. There we are, Voice Record Pro, and there's the track that I want. And there it is. So if I just tap on that track there we are, and there it is. So now if I wanted to, I could tap on here and I could do a little bit of editing. I could just move this along here like this, for example, and I could tap on the scissors like that, and I could make a cut. I could then delete any of the track if I wanted to, or make another cut. I could delete sections. I'm not going to do that though, because I'm happy with what I've done. So if I tap back, and then what I can do is I can tap on the export option top right, and I could tap share as file and then export that back to Google Drive, but I'm actually just going to post the episode. So again, this is another way of making a podcast using Bossjock Jr. So if I tap post new episode, give it a title, LTSIG Bossjock Jr example. I've got my artwork already because I've already set this up, and then just tap post. Okay, so the message is uploading. If I now tap open in Safari, you'll see that I've already created my my account, jodell.madewithopinion.com, and there's my recording. And if I press play right now, you should be able to hear it back like that.
You're listening to Classic FM,
etc. So you have the RSS feed as well. If you were to copy that, you could input that into iTunes. You can have it on the iTunes store if you wanted to, or you could put it into a website like Feedly, and then that would allow you to find out when any new recordings are published, just like any RSS feed. So that's another option as well with Opinion. Okay, so there were a few ideas on how you can use Bossjock Jr for promoting listening and speaking skills, either on its own or in conjunction with other apps. How you can publish it on the internet if you want to, and give access to distance learning opportunities. But I think most importantly, Bossjock Jr is just brilliant for open-ended creative tasks for promoting listening and speaking skills. So I really hope you found that useful. As I said already, Happy New Year.